up, guys? DT Ninja here to bring you my Full Metal Panic Invisible Victory episodes 11 and 12 review. Come make my day. Okay, guys, last night I checked out the latest episodes. I know I told you it was a special, but what they ended up doing is airing both episodes back to back, and like I said, it was Wednesday, so they picked it up, and it's actually been out since Friday, but now I've got a chance to, talk about it and review it here. So I have a lot of things that I noticed throughout the episodes, so I did both episodes. I hope it's not too long. I tried to shorten it a little bit. But I also have some things to share with you, like items. But wow, this episode was freaking awesome. I loved it. I love the action. I love the emotions. The nostalgia with Mikuni Shimokawa's music at the end. I mean, that was so well placed. I just love this episode. It was really well done. They spent the time doing it, planning it out. They actually did a really phenomenal job on the last two episodes. So I gotta say, they really handled it well. But I noticed a lot of things throughout these episodes, and I wanted to share them with you guys. So that's why I'm doing this review. Before we get to that, I want to share some of my items that I got recently. If you saw my unboxing for Full Metal Panic, you've obviously seen my notebook. I use it every day. I am actually a teacher, guys. I don't know if you guys know that, but yes, along with being a YouTuber, I am a teacher. That is my profession. So I use this actually in the classroom. I actually use this for notes and things like that. But yeah, it's pretty awesome because it's Arbalist, obviously from the new season. Sadly, he's in the graveyard. But anyways, still freaking epic. I love this. This is just a regular notebook, obviously with ARX7 Arbalist. But yeah, anyways, still pretty cool. Now, my newest stuff, I have shared with you guys my Bushiroad card sleeves, like the cards, the collectible cards that I've shown you. I got the new one from this season. I got a collectible box that comes for it, or actually you have to buy it separate, but it works well because it holds all of my cards inside. So as you guys can see, this is actually one of the posters, the promotional posters for this season, Invisible Victory. Obviously, it's season 4, guys. And then you can see the box actually has, see Kaname on one side, and then it's got Talitha, Testarossa on the other side. So you got Tessa and Kaname there. And then on the back, you can see that's actually the card that I'm going to share with you guys soon. But you can see it's actually showing through this part of the box. It's like a window opening. So you can see it there. And then this is actually the part where you open it up. So you open it up and you can see right there where it says Invisible Victory. And so when you open it up, you can see these are all the cards. So that's obviously the first one that I got, Boy Meets Girl. Obviously it's got, Gaurin and Kaname and Sosuke there. So pretty awesome. And then the second one is, the team from Mithril. You got Mao, Kurtz, and Sosuke with the behemoth in the background. So pretty awesome. And then the third one that I had is the one with Leonard, as well as Tessa, Sosuke, and Kaname in the deep blue ocean. So really neat as well. And then the newest one that I just picked up is the one from the new season, Invisible Victory. That's what this one looks like. So pretty awesome. Really neat, and I love the box. The box is really neat, and it works really well for your collection. And it fits all the cards, so like you can actually, put the cards back in the places. So anyways, that's my new item from Japan. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. One more look at it. That's, you know, the front side. It's kind of like a little hologram type thing. And then you got the other sides. And then the back actually has part of the card, which I've shown you. So yeah, pretty cool. And of course, it's got the Full Metal Panic Invisible Victory symbol on it. So yeah, they're really cool collectible. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Now, there will be another unboxing very soon. I picked up the box set for, not the anime. I might be doing that because I am going to Japan next month. I probably will get one of the anime box sets while I'm there. But it's not that. It's actually going to be a keychain box set. I bought the entire keychain box set from this season, Invisible Victory. So it's got all the characters, Mao, Tessa, Kaname, Sosuke, you name it, all those main characters are in a box. So I will be doing an unboxing for that. That'll probably be either next week or the week after, before I go to Japan. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Now let's get to the actual review. So as I mentioned before, what I really enjoyed about the actual episodes, I kind of already mentioned those. However, I want to talk about what I noticed. What is interesting to me, and we can push further that maybe you didn't notice or maybe you didn't realize. So episode 11, okay, things I noticed. Okay, the very first thing is the training. Okay, this training session simulation with Sosuke. Now, throughout the entire Full Metal Panic series, we rarely get to see training from Sosuke. So it's really rare to see, but really neat also. You know, he's in Florida training with this Lieutenant Colonel Courtney, one of his, comrades, but someone he knows. And we saw in the last episode he was struggling and he almost seemed vulnerable and things like that. But in this episode, okay, it's the exact opposite. You know, he was laying down on the ground and we saw this alligator come towards him and, you know, he was out of energy. So we really see that vulnerable kind of weakness side of Sosuke that we're not used to seeing. But in this episode we see Bardet. Bardet is that French guy, you know, and he's Lemon's, one of Lemon's right-hand men in the French force. And anyways, he is, you know, trying to take out some of the guys. You know, they're doing a simulation, and Sosuke sneaks up right behind him, and, you know, he takes all of them out. So we see that tactical genius of Sosuke, you know, the skills, and his tactical skills are just superior to everyone. And he even says, this is not even close to what I need to be to face Amalgam. And it's great to see because, like I said, the last episode, we saw that vulnerable side of Sosuke. But here we're seeing the more positive, the more confident side of Sosuke. So we really do see a good balance between the two episodes. And I think they handled that very well. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it really does show both sides of that training. So really good stuff. Okay, the next thing, bird in a cage. Alright, so you'll notice as they show Kaname, she's all alone, okay? She's all alone in her mansion, in that room, and there's a bird there, okay? Now that is specifically put there for a reason, and I'm going to tell you the reason. So basically, that bird is put there to show as symbolism, and this has been shown before in this season. Now, that bird is basically symbolizing Kaname as a bird, okay, and she is trapped within that cage. She is actually, you know, the mansion is her cage. She cannot escape, right? She's trapped. She's isolated from the world, right? She feels helpless, right? She wants to see Sosuke, but she can't really do anything significant to actually reach him and without putting others in harm. So we do see that symbolism of that bird. But not only that, Kaname's name, okay? I'm not talking about Kaname, but Chidori, okay? Tori means bird. Tori means bird. And if you put it together, Chidori means 1,000 birds. So there again, it is put there for a reason. Chidori's name literally means 1,000 birds. And we see this in episode 4, when Sosuke promises he will return for her. We see those doves flying off in the distance, and Sosuke looks back with Arbalest, and Arbalest and Ao, he basically says, I have a feeling we're gonna part ways soon, and you see those birds flying away. It's like a symbol of Kaname wanting to escape. She feels something bad is going to happen. And we also see Al, he feels something bad is going to happen. So you really do get that symbolism in this episode. And I wanted to, share that with you if you didn't know that. So, very interesting stuff. The next thing, Mithril's reunion. Okay, this was bad ass. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, Sosuke has this M6, okay, one of the Tessa's, people that he really likes Tessa. He's one of the fan club of Tessa. Well, anyway, he comes in Florida with this massive AS unit. It's an upgraded M6, and so Sosuke is ready for battle. However, we all know Amalgam is tricky. They stole one of Mithril's new units, and they're thinking it's probably Levitain, but it's not, right? It's not Levitain, but they do steal it, right? So they're kind of at a disadvantage. Sosuke is not as equipped as the others are. These Cauldrell units are really fast, they're really strong, but Sosuke is not as ready for this mission as far as technology goes. So when he comes to these Cauldrell units and they're both surrounding him, he's kind of at a loss, right? And then suddenly this one unit comes out of nowhere with a monomolecular cutter and slices that one in half, both the head and the stomach. And then it just sits there and then it just falls over. And then we hear Mao's voice. That was freaking epic. I loved it. Mao's entrance, that had to be the MVP for the episode. That was awesome. And then you got from the side, you got Kurtz there. And then she's like, let's rock and roll. They're back together. That was just really awesome. It was really awesome. The energy was there. Not just the nostalgia of it either. It's just the way it was presented, the way it was done, the action of it. Really awesome. Really awesome. Really did a good job of it. And also, you had Ben come in there. The black unit. He comes in. His unit's freaking awesome too. He comes in and destroys one of the Cauldrell units as well. He was, second on my list as far as being badass. He had episode 9 for that one. He faced one of those units of Fowler's units. So anyways, so Mao was the MVP on that one. But yeah, it was really good. I did like it. Anyways, number 4, Under the Red Moon. Okay, Under the Red Moon refers to the Amalgam units, the main members of Amalgam. Now, they're not necessarily the main members, but they are very deadly members of Amalgam. Okay, you got Sabina. Okay, basically one of the pilots that pilots for Leonard. She's very knowledgeable. She's actually, I'm pretty sure she is a whispered. I mean, it pretty much is obvious the way she is. And then you got Fowler. Okay, he's one of the enemies. Obviously, we had him at the beginning when he was facing off against Sosuke at the very beginning. And then you have this new one who's Casper, Mr. Casper, and he is supposedly the best sniper in all of Amalgam. So this was really awesome scene. You got the various colors showing in the darkness, and then you got this red moon. Okay, now the red moon itself is like a representation. I saw it as more of like that it's like a blood moon, okay? There's like this solar lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse, and it's supposed to signify the end of times or the apocalypse, okay? So the way they are shown, you see them there, and it's like, you guys are all gonna die because we're here now. So I really like that scene. It was really cool, and like the whole background scene of the moon was really neat. Anyways, you can look it up. It's called the blood moon, the total lunar eclipse, and this is a theory in Christianity, and also that I guess it's kind of thought to be the apocalypse if you see the red moon. And also in other anime we also see that, right? We saw that in Naruto with the infinite Tsukuyomi. It's kind of like a red moon, right? And we also saw it in Berserk as well. In fact, I have it. I wouldn't say a red moon in Berserk, but I mean, literally everything is red. So, I mean, it very does represent, something bad could happen or will happen or is supposed to happen. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it will happen. But I found that very interesting, so I wanted to share. The last part of episode 11, Face Off. Okay. Sosuke finally reaches the mansion, okay? He's completely surrounded by forces of Amalgam. I mean, people just pointing their guns at him. Sosuke finally sees Kalinin, okay? He sees Kalinin, Lieutenant Colonel Kalinin, the former member of Mithril, as an enemy. Okay, now what's great about this, guys, is he was originally his enemy back in Kazakhstan, I think it was, or Hermagistan, I think it was, Hermagistan, as Kashim, right? We saw this in the opening. That shows him as a mercenary kid, and we see it actually in Sosuke's eyes. We see that picture of Kalinin. So we know they were enemies. So it was great to see that. It's just their history together that makes that scene so interesting, so unique. So that's pretty much episode 11, guys. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to have to give it a 9 out of 10 for this one. 9 out of 10. That's pretty damn good. I enjoyed it. I really felt it was a step up in terms of animation, in terms of story. Action was great. We got a little suspense towards the end. The cliffhanger was really well placed. The only thing I wish they would have shown more is the actual backstory with Kalinin and Sosuke. Maybe showing a little flicker of images of him as a child and him as, kind of the father figure to him, to show a little foreshadowing in the future. Because we all know that is his father. Basically, it's his father. It's his adopted father. So I felt they could have pushed on that scene a little bit more, but I still felt it was really well handled. But anyways, I give it a 9 out of 10. So yeah, that's episode 11, guys. On to episode 12, guys. These are the things I noticed in episode 12. So the first one, Russian roulette. Okay, this is the scene with Kaname and Leonard with the gun, obviously. Now, Russian roulette is basically a game of chance with a revolver, okay? And it involves is an incredibly lethal game of chance. So basically, he challenges Kaname for her resolve to kill him. She gives him a gun, a revolver, basically, the same type of gun in the game. And she's sitting there with the gun and she has it pointed at him. And he gives her 10 seconds to fire. And she fails to do so, right? She just doesn't have it in her to kill him. Even with all the animosity, with all the hatred towards him, all of the things going through her mind, she's not able to do it, and she realizes her resolve is weak. However, in a struggle, he tries to take it away from her, and she fires the gun by accident, right? And he gets shot, and she's shocked. But instead of being kind of should I really help him? You know, this is what I wanted from the beginning. She kind of feels sad for him. Now, the novel version kind of shows that frustration of her trying to come to terms that, why am I trying to help him in the first place? He's the one that put me in this situation. He deserved what he got. So it's a little different in the novel. However, this scene was pushed on pretty quickly because right after she fires it, Kalinin shows up and take her away, But I felt the scene was really well handled, and it is a key scene. But anyways, I just wanted to share that in the novel version, she does have these conflicted emotions, whether or not her decision, actually, she wanted to fire at him, but she just didn't have the resolve to do it. But once it happened, she just felt sorry for him instead of feeling satisfied or what she wanted to do from the beginning. So yeah. Okay, the next thing, unexpected retreat. Now, as the Amalgam forces are shown, they're dominating Mithril. Okay, they're dominating. Fowler, Sabina, and Casper, they are so dominant. Their technology is superior. They have lambda drivers. They're just destroying Mithril. Okay, you see the scene with Ben. He's a badass with his AS, but he gets one of his arms almost, torn off. Obviously, it's the AS unit gets broken, but you just see him getting broken, and you start to see Mithril start to lose confidence a little bit. Mao's like, we're just so totally outmatched. They're just so superior to us, and so we get that desperation of that scene, and suddenly, out of nowhere, they just retreat. They get this message to come back to headquarters, and Mithril gets a kind of break. They escape from being destroyed. And so what's interesting about this is it is Kaname who did this. It is Kaname's actions that resulted in this retreat of Amalgam. So it's very interesting because remember, in episode, I believe, 13 of the last season, second raid, the very ending, we see, well, I guess it's not the very ending, but at the ending of the fight, we see Kurtz, Mao, they're all in trouble, Ben, and then Sosuke comes out of nowhere and saves the day, right, and destroys all of those units. So we get that save the day hero type thing. But here, Kaname is not even realizing she saved them. She saved Mithril without even realizing it from her actions. Now, it was an accident, but regardless of what it was, it's unexpected. And it was interesting how it all played out. So, very interesting to me. Okay, the next thing. So far, yet so close. Or so close, yet so far away. Now, this scene is an added scene that something wasn't in the novel. I'm pretty sure it wasn't in the novel. However, if you want, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure that Sosuke never got to see Kaname take off in the helicopter. However, in this one, we did get to see it. So he's fighting off the forces, and he sees her flying off in the helicopter, and you get that really emotional scene of him grabbing with his hand, and you see, Kaname trying to reach out to them. That was a really good scene. I felt that was really well placed. I felt that was a really good scene to add to the anime, and they did it justice. They did that justice. I felt it was really well done. And like I said, I believe it is not in the novel. So, really good stuff. And obviously you see the desperation on both their faces. So good stuff. Next thing, Enter Levitane. Enter Levitane, Owl's return. Oh my god. The upgrade of Levitane and Owl's return. Okay, so this powerful AS unit that drops from the sky. So Sosuke is like, what in the hell is this? And he's like, long time no see, Sergeant, you know, and it's Al. And it's got so much power. Right off the bat, he goes flying up in the air with so much force. It's crazy. Sosuke is just, you know, he's so confused. How in the hell is this so powerful? So it's really great to see animated. It's really great to see the action of it. The weaponry. You know, Sosuke is like, where is all these weapons coming from? So one of the weapons that he uses, I wrote it down here, is the demolition gun. Okay, it's on his back. He just pulls it out and he's like, you know, you need the lambda driver to use it. And so he's like, well, I don't know if we can use it or not, but let's try. And he uses it and he shoots one of the behemoths and it blows his face off. I mean, that was freaking crazy. Another scene is where the Kodrel units are coming at him, and this is before he uses the gun. He gets out his... He uses spare arms. Okay, he's got guns, you know, attached to his, you know, with his arms. But then Owl pulls out these spare arms, so he's got 4 arms shooting all at these Kodrel units, and one of them pulls out his freaking like drive and like the heart of his unit, of the Kodrel unit, and he's like, well, that worked. You know, that was freaking awesome. And so we got the scene with that. That was really cool. Another scene is where the behemoth is basically bearing down on him. I mean, the behemoth is huge. This is tons meters tall. I think I showed you. It's like 30 or 60 meters tall. I can't remember exactly. But its foot is about to smash him. And he uses the lambda driver to push that behemoth over him and smash it into the ground. I mean, this thing is 1,500 tons. That thing is so heavy. That's crazy. That just shows how much power that technology can hold. That's crazy. So I really like that scene as well. That was freaking awesome. Al. Okay, Al has some really funny scenes, like when after they destroy the behemoths, right? We get the scene where Sosuke's like, put on ECS, you know, the invisible, you know, mode. And he's like, well, you know, with all the technology, with all the upgrades, we didn't have enough room to install it. And he's like, what do you mean? This is modern warfare. And he's like, you're completely useless. I'm going to put you in the trash. And so I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but Al always comes across as funny. He's like, no, Sergeant, without me, you're useless. Now, he doesn't say that, but the way it comes across, he's like, without me, this unit is useless. So basically, you are useless without me, you know, working together. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, a really good scene. I enjoyed the fight with Sosuke and all the behemoths. He basically destroyed them all. It's very similar to how he destroyed all the units in the second raid. He basically destroyed them all. But it was because of his upgrade. It wasn't because of his state of mind. It was because of the work Mithril and Wraith and the other girl put into this machine. So, really good stuff. Now, the last thing, guys. The last thing has to be the goodbye or the confession scene. Okay, so we have the scene where Kaname is on the helicopter with Kalinin and all the soldiers. She takes the gun from one of the soldiers. She basically says, I'm going to fire. Kalinin challenges her. You don't have the resolve. It's basically like the same thing Leonard did. So she says, you know what? Screw this. She puts it to her head and she basically makes everyone do what she wants. You know, connect me to Sosuke and the radio. And that's when she gives her final speech, and this was so emotional. This was really emotional because of the placement, because of how it was done. They put the music of the original season 1, Mikuni Shimokawa. Oh my gosh, Mikuni Shimokawa. So as she's speaking, okay, forget about me, Sosuke. We hear in the background, Kimi ni aete Urishikata, which means I'm so glad to have met you. And it's really emotional. It's sad, right? She's basically saying, this is goodbye, Sosuke. And then, after all her speech, I don't want you to kill people for me anymore, she changes her mind. She finds that resolve inside her. And she says, I don't care if you kill thousands, hundreds, millions. Obviously, she's not actually wanting him to kill that many, but it's more of her resolve building inside. And she finally confesses, I love you, Sosuke. And he replies back. And the same exact words are spoken again in the song. I'm glad to have met you. And even though we're looking down from different skies, we're connected. So we get that emotion from the lyrics and the scene connected. It was really emotional, really good stuff. I'm glad they did what they did because that music was perfectly placed. It made that scene so much better. It made it so much better. Really good stuff. And of course, the radio was open, so everyone in Mithril heard that. Everyone in the radio frequency heard the confession. So obviously, Kurtz Weber obviously kind of teases him, oh, Sosuke, Kaname, I love you, and he's making a joke of it. But it was kind of funny. Good stuff. Really good. And it also had that nostalgia feel, with the music placed, with the team returning, him going back to Mithril. So it had a happy, hopeful ending. It wasn't all sad. It was sad, but at the same time hopeful, and gave us the hope that there will be, good times to come. So really good stuff. I really enjoyed this episode. And towards the end of the credits, they played Tomorrow. This is the opening of Season 1, guys. Mikuni Shimukawa again. These are the great parts that made this episode, a good episode, great. So I'm going to have to give this episode a 10 out of 10, guys. A 10 out of 10. It was perfect. I love this episode. I don't think they could have made it any better, to be honest. It was really good. Like I said, this season had to be, shortened. It was only 12 episodes, but I really enjoyed it. This season, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10 total because of how it ended. It was really well done. Good stuff. So anyways, I hope this anime, the next season is picked up and we get more. Obviously, there's going to be a huge battle with Amalgam, Sosuke, and Kalinin. We're going to get a lot of things with Leonard, obviously, and also Kaname. So good stuff to come. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.